Hey, it's D. It's a brand new episode coming right for you, right on the FTO network. Enjoy. All right, guys, we are back with a brand new episode. D here with the ever lovable Anton Sixx. How's it going,
everybody?
man?
You know, it's going pretty good. Overwatch. I've been on a roller coaster with Overwatch 2. It came out the 4th, and so in the past 5 days, I've been like in an ongoing war with this game. So the 4th, that night, I came home from work. The game is getting DDoS attacked. I'm getting in queue, and it's like 19,000 people ahead of you. And I was like, okay. And then I would get to the end of the queue sometimes, and I'd get there, and it'd be like, it would error out and say I was disconnected and kick me back to the like end of the line. So I gave up on that, went and played some Final Fantasy, because I got my Dark Knight, Gunbreaker, and Warrior to 90, so now it's just my Paladin, and my Paladin's in like the mid 70s, so I'm like on my way to doing it. And solo queuing with having all the old content unlocked, I'm actually doing like high end things that are really fun to do while leveling my Paladin, instead of doing like old Realm Reborn stuff, which is what we seem to get whenever I queue up with other people.
Is that a normal thing for you? Is that like we were just talking about before the show about the comfort shows, like when I'm not feeling too well, and you told me that yours is Fooly Cooly.
Yeah.
But is there a comfort game that you go to when something's not working out for you?
Really, it's Tetris Effect connected. That is the game. Like a lot of times, I'll be like mad. Like whenever the game, like if I'm just not feeling it, I don't feel like playing anything else. But like I'm just trying to reset my mind, I'll play Tetris Effect connected, and that's a game I need to get on the Steam Deck, because I have it on Epic Game Store. I have it on PlayStation. I think I have it on Switch. And then it was on Game Pass. So whenever I am on Xbox and have Game Pass, I have it there. But
I feel that that's a good go-to, actually. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, wow.
yeah, the visuals, like it. So one of my friends, like back in the controllerized days, like I started actually playing Tetris with other people, because it was one of those games. It's just like I'm not the best at fighting games. But I can play. But the game I can get really competitive with is Tetris. And so I started finding the people at Controllerize who are good at Tetris. Because if you see 3 people sitting down playing like competitive Tetris against each other, and you're the 4th person who's willing to sit down and join in on that, we eventually got like a solid group of people of like people would go home and practice Tetris on whatever, because there's a version of Tetris on everything. I even have this little like arcade cabinet thing that I can play on. So
I thought you were gonna say like when all those people join in, it's a party. All right, I get it. Like you didn't say that without actually saying that. So like,
it definitely was a lot of fun. It was like the one time I've commentated, like did esports commentating, was that 2 people, like we had, because we would get to Controllerize early, help set up the games and stuff, and like the guy who ran the games, Game Master Herb, he knew we wanted to play Tetris, so he'd set up the Wii and he had Tetris Party and had the controllers and everything set up, and it was like, okay, well, you help me set up, you guys go at it. So that would be a thing. I'd like get off of work, come home, change, and go just like hours early, and like whoever needed help, I'd help them set up. But I'd just be there playing Tetris, and yeah. So I think that's my comfort game. Because a lot of times,
go ahead.
Yeah, a lot of times like 14. Like 14 is a game that I just have a lot of stuff that I have to do in it, and like none of it's urgent really. right now. Like, there's nothing I'm like, oh, if I go do this right now, I'll get an instant reward. But it's just slowly working my way towards stuff. So, like, one of the personal goals I set for myself was to get all 4 tanks to 90. So I got 3 out of 4, and that 4th one, like, Paladin's my least favorite tank to play. So it's like Gunbreaker's my favorite, then Warrior, then Dark Knight, then Paladin. So when I'm doing stuff like level 90 content, I'm always on Gunbreaker. So, and I played through, my Gunbreaker was my first character to make it to 90. Because
So you're invested in this game.
Yeah, I mean, 14 is thousands of hours. Like, there's a command you can do /playtime where it'll give you your playtime in like days and weeks. And I definitely have like entire weeks of playtime in that game.
Sounds like you definitely get hardcore into it. Definitely get into it. I had a friend who was pretty big into that game. I never got myself into it. I always heard like, you know, about the stories and about like how people love this game and how like it's all innovative and it's just so expansive and different from all the other Final Fantasy games, but I never got myself like deep into that game. I feel like when I get myself a Steam Deck, which is happening, I'm going to get that game and just relax in it. I'll probably find you and bug you also. So
that's gonna be just Adamantoise. Make sure you get on the Adamantoise server. It's a giant turtle, and me and Radic are on Adamantoise, like, and it's on the data center that you'll be able to play with all the people that we regularly play with. So like, it's only Radic and I on our particular server, but the majority of people that we play with are on the same data center, so you can hop to any server on the data center and play together. Or you can do cross-world parties, because that's sometimes, like, if we're just getting on to do dailies or something, instead of going to one of the city-states and doing a server transfer and getting over to where you need to be, you can just create a party and you do whatever you're doing in your world. I do whatever I'm doing in my world. We queue up for something together, and then we're in it together when, like, we get the group. So...
like, you got to answer for everything. I dig it. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And since we're talking about stuff who have answers, I also want to take this opportunity, since we are going on an episode right now, Madrid. Thank you so much for covering for me, man. Like, it was a rough go for me last week. I know so yeah, now I'm making myself sad talking about this. My dog passed away last week. We just got his remains, and Madrid showed up like a champ. I listened to the entire episode. Like, it was fun hearing you guys just talk about the news, talk about the intergalactic. It was nice, like hearing like a conversation on Table of Cheese, and like I wasn't a part of it, and just like hearing you guys go on about it. Like, it was pleasant. So, like, thank you for like the show what's going on, and thank you to Madrid for covering and taking over and like just doing like a stellar job. I hope I get to work with him again. Get to work with him in the future. That'd be great.
Well, yeah, I was definitely, and I've told everybody on Cheesy Controller, like, if there's something for them to talk to you about doing one of your other shows, because we are all keeping up with different aspects of pop culture, and like there are shows we're watching, and so I think it'd be really interesting to have any of them on your content, and we might have you back on Cheesy Controller soon.
That'd be nice.
We're inching up on episode 200, so we got some things in the works for that, and so
I'm coming up with episode 202 for my show. That's good. Right on. Yeah, congrats, man.
Working hard, so.
You got someone else will for you. You got to do it yourself. No, I get that too.
Right.
I remember when I was on the show last time, Madrid wasn't there. So yeah, like it would be nice like they come back on the show like and have him actually be there this time. That'd be cool.
Yeah. I wonder where he was. I'm trying to think like what time frame that was, but
you got to do so much stuff. It's hard to keep all together, I bet.
Yeah. I mean, the one thing actually, Overwatch 2, so as a podcast, our history with Overwatch goes back a really long time. It was one of the first games that we got into with a group. It's where we would find we would actually, like, somebody random would group up with us. We'd invite them to the party, tell them to check out the podcast. It was one of the games it was post Destiny, but pre Monster Hunter. Like, pretty much that entire period of time was Overwatch time. And that's another game I have hundreds of hours in. Like, I think the last time I looked just on PlayStation, I had like 450 something hours. So,
You gotta love nerds, man. You gotta love nerds. Like that's how you keep your time frame. I love it. Like that. I'm not. That's no joke. Like I do the same thing, like with TV shows and movies and whatnot. Like that. It's cool that you use that as your time frame. That's awesome.
yeah, it's always like the hangout game, and that's kind of like there's whatever single player game I'm playing or whatever, I can kind of like match up things with that, but I can think about the people I've been playing with, the like types of games we're playing. There's always like the central hangout game. Like, it's been Apex, it's been Destiny, it's been Overwatch, it's been Monster Hunter, it's been any of these things with like a community aspect. To a lesser extent, certain ways is Fortnite. Like, there are certain people that I'll play Fortnite with that I don't necessarily play other stuff with. And it's just like, my time to catch up with those people is while playing Fortnite. And Call of Duty is like a similar kind of deal. Where
So while Tetris is your comfort game, Overwatch is more like one of your chill, your hangout games.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, it hasn't been chill this week. Like, when I tell you it's been out 5 days and I've had less than 24 consecutive hours of like the game not being broken in some fundamental way, it's been ridiculous. So, day 1, we're dealing with the DDoS attacks. Day 2, I think it worked, but not everybody was on, just judging by the time I was playing. And then we had to record the podcast, and then there was server maintenance the next day. And I was actually able to play by myself through the server maintenance. Nobody was on, but I was like, look, the game's letting me in, I'm going to play.
I want to take advantage of this opportunity. No, I feel that.
But, so then, what was that? Saturday, they had the server maintenance Friday night. Saturday, I get up and I try and get on early in the morning, and I'm getting a LC-208 error. I deal with that error all day yesterday. 1:36 in the morning last night. Like, I'm up messing around on my Steam Deck. I'm just in the PSN party with everybody, but I'm like on my Steam Deck because I can't get Overwatch working on my PlayStation. I would refresh it every once in a while and try. And like, I looked up fixes on Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter for LC-208, and it seemed to be a thing that some people had it before they did maintenance. When they took the game down for maintenance, it fixed it for everybody who had it before, but a bunch of people got it after, and there was just no way to fix that.
No, I get that.
So I tried, one video was like, okay, so just reset your router. I'm like, okay, cool. Reset the router. Nothing happens. Then it's like, while you're queuing, like, disconnect the Ethernet cord. Do that, nothing happens. They're like, delink your PlayStation and Battle.net accounts and then relink them. Did that, nothing happened. What else?
Striking out everywhere, it sounds like. Jeez.
So at one point, what I did, I deleted the game. I got on my Japanese account, downloaded the PS5 version because it's free to play now. So like,
of course you got a Japanese version. Why wouldn't you? You're like, you're Anton Sixx. Of course you got a Japanese version.
Oh yeah, I have a Japanese eShop account and a Japanese PSN account because there are games that'll come out only in Japan, and a lot of times there'll be like a random one-off free-to-play game or something like that. That's like, okay, I can get this on my Japanese account, and Google Translate has gotten good enough. Like, it used to be, I had to like learn the kanji for demo or like free trial version, and it's like, okay to make, because Of course, I don't have a card linked or anything, but like on the Japanese eShop, you could buy codes from like Play Asia, and they'd send you the code, and then you put the code in, and then you have like yen in your eShop account. So yeah, definitely PS3. I lost my Japanese account that I originally had on my PS3 just because I had it before the PSN outage and you had to change the passwords, and I don't even know what email address I used to make it. Like my Japanese PSN account, my original one is long gone that I used for PS3 and PSP. But my new Japanese one that I made during the PS4 generation I remember the login and everything and was able to transfer it to my PS5. And so, yeah, downloaded the Japanese version of Overwatch, tried opening that on my account, and it still gave me the same error. And in the midst of all of this, so Friday night I tried the PC version, updated Overwatch to Overwatch 2 on my PC, tried logging in on that, it gave me an error. Tried the Switch version, sat through queues on all of these places, by the way. Like, it's not just like, oh, open the game, press X a few times, see if it worked. No, it was, okay, it's 400 people in front of me in line, so wait for that 400 people to get into the game and then have it error out. So,
you just couldn't win. You just all you want to do was play a game. And
I was like, like if we had recorded yesterday, I would have the worst things to say about Overwatch.
and I mean, we're supposed to be talking nice about all this stuff. Yeah, not happening.
But, and I mean, that's one of the things you got to hold them accountable. Like Blizzard is famous for like holding games and like expansions and updates until they're ready. Overwatch 2 feels like something they rushed out that wasn't ready because like one of the main promises of Overwatch 2 was a story mode. There's no story mode yet. Like everybody's playing Overwatch 2, it's just the PvE. And that's why that part's free to play. It's probably going to be like Halo where you have to buy the campaign, but the multiplayer is free to play.
Speaking of games that you're playing on your Steam Deck and like the Steam Deck itself, this is the story I'm going to be talking about on Blurred News because like it's just like it's touching me now. It's getting me in my feels. It's getting me in my loves, and I'm just excited to hear this. Like since like you've been talking this thing up to me, which like by the way, you had to have had a job in sales once upon a time because like I'm all for it. The Steam Deck is going out to everybody now. There's no more waiting list. There's no time frame anymore. Like you want one, you go get it. It's in your hands, and boom, like that's it. And I don't know about you, but I was really surprised to see this. Like, and after you told me about, like, I saw it everywhere. I saw it on Twitter, saw it on Instagram, saw it all over YouTube. Like Steam Deck is for everybody. Like, no more waiting time. And when we did like our episode at Radic Studios, like, we talked about how like this is going to take over and change the game. Like, since it is more accessible to everybody, do you still think that's going to happen? That the Steam Deck is going to change the game inside of gaming and like how we all see gaming.
Well, I'm surprised that they were able to get it to where it's coming out quicker because I didn't think that this calendar year we would have it where because now the process is just you put in an order, they ship it, and that's it. No reserve, like you said, no reserves, no time frame, no. Because there used to be a bot that would be like a checker where you put your confirmation code from your email into the checker, and based on your confirmation number in relation to other people's confirmation, because it's like if you have reserve 1, you go first in line, you reserve 2, and then it just keeps going for however many millions of orders they had in. And so it'll be interesting because it's still not something that they're going to be selling in stores necessarily. They are opening it up to a lot of markets. Like they talked about it's coming out in Japan, and so there are going to be other markets where it has the potential to be really big. And I know right now with a lot of things, it'll be interesting to see how this holiday goes and how
Yeah.
big of a uptick it gets, because that's Valve hardware has never been like prime time, like the Wii and the Switch and the PS4 and the PS5 and like the Xbox 360. Like these are prime time big box, like selling thousands during like Black Friday and stuff. But I don't see the Steam Deck getting there. And I mean, Valve hardware has never been, nobody has been like camped out on a Black Friday to get a Valve Index before. Nobody. So it'll be, maybe if it gets into stores, like it definitely has the potential to change a lot. And like even for me, like upcoming games, I'm considering some of them for Steam Deck, but
exclusively Steam Deck, not for like your Xbox or your PlayStation.
Well, so there are certain things like PlayStation's still my primary place where I'm going to play. Like,
okay,
they actually, I don't think I've gotten to talk about this on Table Cheese. PlayStation started their rewards program this last week, the PlayStation Stars program, and I'm already on level 2 of 4 on PlayStation Stars. So for me right now, they added a metagame to it on PlayStation, so like I'm already all caught up in the metagame. Like that's why I'm playing Overwatch there instead of playing, anywhere else. Like I have at least 3 other ways to play it at my desk, at my disposal at any time, but I'm still playing it on my PS5.
So you can get free games on the PS4 and PS5. Is what the awards thing is exactly. I'm not familiar with it.
So PlayStation Stars, what it is, it's like they're doing it where you get digital collectibles, which they've made very clear are not NFTs because you can't sell or trade them. They have no value. They're just ridiculous. Digital collectibles.
I'm so glad it's dying. So glad I think it's dying. Go on.
Yeah, but so there's that. But like Nintendo and Xbox both have rewards point programs in place already. PlayStation was just the only one without one. Now they have it where if you sign up for PlayStation Stars, as you get trophies and buy games with like digital games on the PlayStation Store, which is like more than 50% of game sales now are digital sales. So if you buy stuff off the PlayStation Store or if you earn trophies of a certain rarity, so there are games that is just like 30-second platinum, like, but those trophies won't count towards it. Like in Overwatch right now, because a lot of the trophies are rare trophies that I'm getting, and because like the game's going out to a lot of people and I'm doing things that I know lead to trophies, and because it's so many people and there are so many characters, and like it's 2 trophies per character as far as like the challenge trophies, so those trophies have been gaining me points on it, but that it gets you points, and then you can either redeem those points for PSN wallet credit that you can spend on whatever you want, which they used to have through Sony rewards, but this one's a lot more PlayStation focused. But it seems like you're getting a lesser return for buying games, but like looking at it, so for context, I have 250 points.
All right.
$5 is 1,250 points, and $20 is 5,000 points. They have, for games you can get, Sekiro is 15,000, Hades is 6,250, which is the same as Cult of the Lamb. So it's interesting to see how it's going to go. I mean, it's something that's going to be happening in the background, like Sony rewards. It used to be every dollar you spent, you'd get like 10 points for Sony rewards, and I got Death Stranding for free from claiming Sony rewards points, and like they just sent me a wallet code. I put the wallet code in and got Death Stranding when it came out. So, and Nintendo, it does the same thing. You get like one silver, like you get a penny back for every dollar you spend. So the gold coins just kind of pile up, and then every once in a while I'll see a game for like $5 and I'll use points and I'll only have to pay like $3 for it or something like that.
Also not bad.
Right. So, well, Nintendo seems to, like, it's a thing you'll most consistently be getting points from. And, like, I feel like their conversion rate, their points are the most valuable. But Microsoft, I know people who use Bing as their primary search engine because every Bing search you do gets you a certain amount of Xbox points. So they have it where it's based off achievements and they have it based off, like, digital game buying, but yeah, there are other things there are a lot more things you can do on the Xbox end to earn points.
All right. So with all that going on with the rewards, and like you got the fun with the Steam also, and new games that may be exclusively just for you when it comes to the Steam instead of like the PlayStation, but like you still got like the whole thing with PlayStation going on also. What game besides Overwatch is really like going to be reigning supreme? Because November is right around the corner, man, and like as we all know, Ragnarok is like on the tip of everyone's tongue right now.
And
I
so
think, like I think they said it just went gold also with
yeah.
Ragnarok, yeah.
So it went gold, and there's also been reports of now that it's gone gold and it's content complete. Ragnarok looks like it's going to be 40 hours. And so my expectation for Ragnarok is like playing through the original, that was like 20 to 30 hours. I played through the original, was done with it in about a week, had a great experience with it. Didn't go for the platinum, but it was able to walk away satisfied with what I got from the game. With this one seeming longer, but not a lot longer, like it's definitely going to be like a day one buy and like get it really into and really play, and so I can be really ready for to talk about it, like listen to spoiler casts, like be kind of caught up in the cultural zeitgeist of Ragnarok. I don't see it taking, like, Overwatch 2 is still going to be big. We're going to be getting more Final Fantasy 14 content. That's still going to be big. I don't, like, a lot of times when these big single player blockbuster games come out, they don't have like the staying power of these persistent online multiplayer things. Like in Fortnite, I still want to complete the battle pass to get Spider-Gwen. Overwatch, I definitely want to complete the battle pass because the tier 80 skin, which is the last tier, is like a mythic skin, and it's the first mythic rarity skin in the game, and it's really cool. So yeah, it'll definitely take, like, when Ragnarok comes out, it'll take over. But I mean, if you want to talk about like more casual, more mainstream things, like Modern Warfare 2 is probably going to be the best-selling game of the year, even though it comes out in November. We got Bayonetta 3, which is going to be huge on Switch.
I hear Jennifer Hale's doing the voice because I forget the original voice actor. She's not reprising her role for this.
Bayonetta has just been a series that has been, because Sega originally published it, but it was developed by Platinum Games, and then Sega said they weren't going to publish 2, but then Nintendo came in and saved it, so it was a Wii U and Switch exclusive. And then that's why Bayonetta 3 is a Switch exclusive, because nobody thought Bayonetta would be like such a strong character. Because one was a good game, but it wasn't necessarily like iconic. So when 2 came out and did really well, Nintendo, and then Bayonetta became such a popular character as far as getting into Smash. It was
right. I forgot about that. She is in Smash, isn't she?
Yeah. She was one of the last DLC characters that were like fan voted that they were able to do for Smash 4. So it was like Cloud, Bayonetta, Corrin from Fire Emblem Fates, and I'm trying to think who the fourth character was, because all of these had player 2 amiibos. That was the thing of like, it's gonna drive me crazy. Whoever the fourth one was.
It still doesn't have Waluigi though. That's what everyone's always talking about.
I mean,
Waluigi still isn't there.
Yeah, Waluigi, and I mean at this point it's probably never gonna happen. Like I see the next Smash release being Smash Ultimate, because there's Smash Ultimate where everybody was there, but then there are 8 DLC characters after the fact, and so it's like Joker, Sephiroth, Minecraft Steve.
That's right. Yeah.
Sora from Kingdom Hearts. So, like, all of those characters, like, if you were to go out and buy Smash Ultimate on cart right now, you wouldn't have access to any of those characters. So I see them re-releasing Smash Ultimate in, like, an Ultimate package that actually has all the DLC and everything.
See, that's my kid has Smash, and we play it from time to time. Definitely got to get more on that Smash train for sure.
Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't. The one character I thought they'd do would be Jonesy from Fortnite.
Why would you think that would be a character on Smash?
Because I mean, like, the level of cultural relevancy that like Fortnite has, if you think about it, like, they have representation from, like, Grand Theft Auto was another one, but I also see why Nintendo wouldn't do it. But I mean, one of the highest played games on the Switch is Fortnite, just by virtue of it being Fortnite and it being available on Switch.
I get that. That makes sense.
Because like that's why Minecraft Steve was in there. It's like Minecraft is unavoidable culturally. Like, Minecraft is still somehow in the top selling game charts, like, consistently, because every new platform it comes to, it's millions of new people buying it and playing it.
You ain't wrong there. Like, I think ever since Microsoft got their hands on it, it's been going up ever since, and that's the reason why they got it in the first place. No, I hear you.
Well, yeah, it was huge before they got it, and so that was kind of the start of Microsoft seeing, like, okay, this thing gets big, we're gonna go and spend a lot of money and get this company, and yet somehow they're still not releasing games like that.
I think the. Like, that started all the other companies doing the same thing also. Like, with all the other cells we've been seeing, like with Bungie and isn't EA doing something like that too? Buying other companies and putting under.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of consolidation. It looks like EA has been rumored to, like, get bought for, like, a while. Square Enix has been acting like they're trying to get bought. Platinum Games has straight up been out there and said, like, hey, somebody buy us so we can keep doing our thing.
That's right. I remember hearing about that.
So
no, Square Enix ain't letting themselves get bought. I don't see that happening. I feel like they got too much capital for it to happen. Or you think it will?
I think PlayStation. Like, the thing is, I don't know why. Because they offloaded all their Western studios. They no longer have, like, Eidos Montreal. They no longer have, like, Crystal Dynamics. Like, none of those teams are under them anymore. And they're releasing games like crazy. They're releasing games, and the way they're releasing them, it's like they have a dartboard that's like 50% PlayStation, 50% Switch, and then, like, 49% of each, and then 1% Xbox and 1% PC. In every game, they throw 2 darts at the board, and wherever it lands is where the games get released.
They're doing that old song and dance, huh?
It's just really interesting what they're doing, because, like, this month they had 2 big AAA games released within a week of each other. They had Valkyrie Elysium and DioField Chronicle drop, like, back to back, And I think Star Ocean's still to come this year. We still have Crisis Core Reunion coming out this year. Then next year we have Final Fantasy 16 and we have Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Like, they're cranking stuff out at a clip that is like, it's really weird how Square Enix has been acting. Like, I know I talked about it with Madrid a little bit last week, and I talked about Madrid, one of our friends, Darren from the Rusty Rupees podcast. The three of us, we did a State of Square Enix episode early on in 2022 because Square Enix, like, it's one of our favorite companies. It makes some of our favorite games, and it has like a lot of these legacy titles that we'd like to see come back, but the way they're acting is just super strange. Like, the fact that the Final Fantasy Pixel remaster is only on mobile and PC when it would be so perfect on Switch, and I want it on PlayStation for personal reasons, you know?
Of course.
Like, I probably wouldn't play it on Switch, but I have Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 14, and 15 on my PlayStation. So I definitely like to have 1 through 9 or 1 through 10, 12. The other thing I really need from them is the 13 trilogy remaster. Like, nobody else wants that. Nobody else seems to like, because they're not the best games. I'll give you that. They're not the best games. They have good music, and for the time, their graphics were crazy. But yeah, I just want Final Fantasy 13, 13-2, and Lightning Returns released as like a $60 package on PS5.
And like we talk about all these other games, but there's been one game that's been like rattling on my head since it's been mostly talked about of late, and that game is the Batman Gotham Knights game.
Oh yeah,
and
it's soon,
like I know,
right?
like that. Yeah, it's real soon, and I'm just really curious about what you think about that game that's coming out, like the Gotham Knights game. Like, are you excited for it? Are you not excited for it? Like, I didn't see any Duke. I didn't see any Cassandra Cain. So like, as excited as I am for it, like I can wait until those DLCs come out and I see those characters in that game, because I don't know if I want to be like getting a Batman game where, like, you know, they don't have
Where
any
Batman
PLC
is dead.
I mean, like, in the Batman is dead. So like, you know.
Well, it's a Court of Owls story, so like,
Yeah.
for me that's interesting. I'm probably going to pass on this game. It might come to PlayStation Plus or something later down the line. Like, the Arkham games didn't really click with me the way the Spider-Man games clicked with me. Like, Batman and Spider-Man are probably my two favorite superheroes, like, overall.
Right.
And Deku. Can't leave my boy Deku out. Like, but Batman and Spider-Man are like my two favorite, like, as far as, well, I like Teen Titans a lot too. So I guess Robin in this game, or if Nightwing is the Robin.
Nightwing, Dick Grayson, yeah. That's who you're going for. It'd be Nightwing as Dick Grayson this go around, yeah.
And so, I mean, between the Harley Quinn show and like the Batman and like a lot of the more recent like DC animated and certain live action things, like, I mean, they're not killing it in the way Marvel's killing it. Like, I don't know if you've seen Werewolf Within or Werewolf by Night.
The trailer for it, yeah.
Well, no, it's out. It's just like a 45-minute like one-off Marvel story,
like a featurette in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's out on Disney Plus, and I actually watched it the other day. But for me, like, I know Spider-Man 2016, I want to say, was a day one play. I played all the way through it, platinumed it. Spider-Man Miles Morales was a game I bought before I even had my PS5, like, bought it digitally and played through and beat that game, but didn't go and platinum it. Like, I could have done it. It was just not as compelling because I had just done it, and I was actually in the process of replaying Spider-Man, the original one, and trying to do the DLC, which I never really got around to.
Well, do you ever do like just like reviews of video games? Like, is that ever a thing for you? Where you just you know, like, maybe not write an article, but like, you know, do like a like on your podcast that you're like just do like
Well,
just a comfy review about stuff? Is that a
well,
thing you guys do?
yeah. So sometimes, if a game comes out, I'll definitely, as I'm playing it, talk about it on the podcast, give updates like where things are going, and so I kind of like the fact that I have like a weekly spot, and I've been trying to do that with games, like because I have my opinion on Wednesday, and then play it between Wednesday and the weekend, and then on the weekend have something to say about it.
I've
So
noticed.
yeah, for me, like having my opinion be like an evolving thing over time and like be on multiple pieces of content so people can see how I'm feeling about things instead of like putting an opinion out there and like having people disagree with that opinion and that opinion being more permanent.
The way we used to do things on social media. Yeah.
Yeah, like now it's more like I'll tweet about something. Like if you look at my Twitter and see me tweeting about Overwatch 2 the past couple of days, you definitely see like that I've been going through with Overwatch. But yeah, so I haven't done any like structured reviews per se, but it's something I've thought about doing, but I'm not the best writer. Like I'm a lot better speaking about things, but the second I'm writing a script and trying to like do content like that, it just hasn't gone super well so far.
I feel that. No, I get that too. I have an actual website where I try to treat like it's a news article, and it's not working out the best for me. So no, I hear you. I absolutely hear what you're saying. Well, like if you ever do like do exclusive reviews about games and like in just one game, and like you and whomever go at it, I'm all for hearing it because I want to hear like your thorough criticism about a video game. Like when this God of War comes out, Ragnarok, if you want to tell me like your review and your full on like 20-some minute thoughts about that game, I am 100% here to hear that, man. Like seriously.
Oh well, yeah, definitely. Like when Ragnarok comes out, that'll be a game I play day one.
Yeah.
Like it's a single player game, so doubt I'm gonna run into server issues with it or whatever, you know.
Yeah, I
But
doubt that
yeah,
too.
I'll definitely talk extensively about it, like because it'll be interesting to see. Like I have a theory about the game that might be a spoiler if I'm right, so I won't say anything about it. But for those who get it, I have a feeling they're going to, and I think Spider-Man's going to do this as well, where they have a Metal Gear Solid 2 moment where you end up playing as somebody you don't necessarily expect to be playing as in the game.
His kid, Atreus.
I mean, we'll see.
That's what you're thinking. Like he may go God. Like you saw remnants of it in the first one. Although I must say, even though I didn't play the first God of War game in like 2018, but I did like watch it in a sense of play on MK Ice and Fire. But like it looked like he was getting like some god power. Like we may find out who his mom is in this game too. Hopefully.
Well, his mom was the last of the Giants, and okay, spoilers for God of War 2018. Like cover your ears, skip 30 seconds of the podcast, something. Atreus' mom was the last of the Giants. Atreus realized he was a demigod during the course of the game, and we find out that he's Loki in Norse mythology.
Like Atreus is?
Yes, Atreus is Loki. And so Atreus, like there's a mural towards the end of the game where you go to spread his mom's ashes, and there's a painting where Atreus or Loki has to kill Kratos, essentially. And so it's going to be interesting to see in this second game, because we know this is the end of the Norse saga for God of War, and they're probably putting God of War away. Like it'd be interesting if they killed Kratos and then Atreus has to deal with Odin, because we know Kratos is going to fight Thor, but in the original God of War it was like you're trying to fight Ares and then you end up fighting Zeus.
Right.
So it'll be, I think Kratos is going to kill Thor, and then Loki's going to kill Kratos, and then Loki's going to kill Odin.
Yeah. That sounds interesting. Like, and like it'll essentially hand off the game or the franchise over to Atreus instead of like having it being like in Kratos' hand the entire time. I get what you're trying to say. Yeah. I mean, like it'd be like a tectonic shift, really, if you really think about it like that. I
Yeah,
like
because
that.
I mean that's how they shifted from God of War 3. Like Zeus technically killed Kratos at the end of God of War 3. Well, they
But
technically killed each other, but
yeah,
then Kratos like
limped himself out of that water, and like that was the end of the game. Yeah,
yeah, and
like he wasn't actually dead, but where the hell he went, and you find out in like 2018 where exactly he took off to. Yeah.
yeah. And I mean, there are other mythologies that like I'd like to see adapted. Like Egyptian mythology has always
Fuck
been one
yes,
of
God,
like
to see Seth, man, and Ra. Hell yeah! Oh my
right
goodness, that'd be
Anubis.
dope.
Like you
Oh
just
my goodness, you're speaking my language right there, man.
just fighting through the Egyptian pantheon as Kratos
Whew.
could be super fun. But
That'd be insane. That'd be
I'd
insane.
I'd
Incorporating all
like to
that.
see what Santa Monica can do because I know
That's
they
what I was.
were working on a game idea that got scrapped between God of War 3 and God of War 2018. And so now with Ragnarok being the follow up to that, like I'd like to see them go and do something else. Cuz like Gorilla got away from Killzone, Sucker Punch got away from Infamous, like a lot of the big Sony, like even Naughty Dog got away from Uncharted like with The Last of Us, and then now whatever they do next. It'll be really interesting to see Santa Monica and Naughty Dog, the two of the biggest and best PlayStation studios, what they do next. Now that The Last of Us, for the most part, is done, and God of War, they've confirmed that this is the last one we're getting for a while.
You want to see Santa Monica to keep doing it? You want you wouldn't want to see it handed off to a different franchise?
Well, no. I don't want anybody. I think God of War needs to go away for a while. Like I know it went away for a while between God of War 3 and God of War 2018, but yeah, I would be completely okay if God of War went away because whenever these franchises that are like big, like if we see Kratos at E3 this year, everybody's gonna be like, "What? We just got Kratos. Like we're good. Like we don't need another." And then a lot of times when they hand it off to another studio, they don't do as good of a job with it. And then, like, I'd rather them just retire Kratos. Like, Kratos had two of the biggest PlayStation games for the PS4 and PS5 generation. Let it rest there. And then in 10 years, when they have Kratos show up, like, emerge from the darkness with, like, a new weapon in his. When you see a sarcophagus getting smashed open by Kratos and like hieroglyphics and stuff like that, like in 10 years, that'll be a huge pop. Whereas if either Sony Santa Monica keeps working on it and rushes it, or if they hand it off to another studio and then make one that isn't as good, like I feel like leaving it where it is will be a good spot to leave it.
You sound like a good pitch man. Like you're really trying to sell this, and I like it. It give me my feels, and I'm here for it. That's nice. I like that. I can't disagree with you either. To be honest with you, like that sounds like actually pretty sound reason like to want to stick with it. But
right, like Uncharted 4. We had Uncharted 4. Uncharted has gone away, and now the next time we see an Uncharted game, it'll be a big deal.
Be a part of it. Yeah. No shit, yeah, and also with that game, the movie that just came out too, like it's still like inside of your head, it's still resonating. And we also hear that God of War has a Amazon Prime show coming out pretty soon too. So like, yeah, no, you make a good point. Like thinking of all that stuff now, yeah.
So Sony, and this is something we talked about a little bit on Cheesy Controller, and I've been in a couple PSN parties talking about it. So they put out The Last of Us Part 1, which is a remake of like a late PS3 / early PS4 game. And everybody's like, well, why are you doing this? The Last of Us, like, I can play The Last of Us Remastered right now on my PS5. Why do they need to make a PS5 native version of this game? And like there are rumors they're doing the same thing with Horizon Zero Dawn, and they did the same thing with Spider-Man and Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding, where all of
Stranding,
these like games that were hits last generation, like even though you can still play them on the current generation, they're selling you another version. It's so for next year when we have the Horizon show from Netflix and we have the God of War show from Amazon Prime and we have the Last of Us show from HBO, the same buzz and hype that Cyberpunk and The Witcher and like all these different games that have had shows come out and then have people flock to the games. It's nobody has to figure out, oh, so I can get Horizon Zero Dawn, the PS4 version, and play it on my PS5, and it has a patch that'll make it run at 60 FPS. It's like, no, you get a PS5 and you get the PS5 disc for Horizon Zero Dawn and the PS5 disc for Horizon Forbidden West, and you have that ready to go. And so I guarantee we're going to get a God of War 2018 PS5 version that they're going to sell. And so when God of War, this show comes out and people go to the store and get a PS5 and they want to do the God of War thing, they can get God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok on PS5 discs with their PS5. It's just kind of like good marketing.
Yeah. Especially when you feel like that, that's exactly what it is.
That's why, like, The Witcher's doing, like, I have a feeling by the time the next season of The Witcher is out, the show, we will have well, they've already announced it, and they say it's coming this year. I don't fully believe them, because we got, like, 2 months left, and we don't have a date for it yet. But they say we're getting the Witcher 3 next-gen version, and that'll be another thing of somebody who gets a PS5 this holiday season and watches the Witcher show will go and get the Witcher 3. Even though you can play the Witcher 3 on a PS5 right now with the PS4 version, you can just get the PS5 version of the Witcher 3 with your PS5 and play that way. And
also, since we're talking about Witcher and CD Projekt Red, like there is some news with Witcher 3 prequel. There's a prequel for Witcher coming out, and there's a sequel also from CD Projekt Red with Cyberpunk sequel. I think it's called
Project Orion.
Yeah, Orion. Like so, the popularity of Cyberpunk, as like you were getting at, like the popularity with Cyberpunk has like got it so known and notarized that like as you're talking about what all these other companies doing X, Y, and Z, Cyberpunk is taking on and doing that exactly. And Witcher, with its popularity and notoriety, is also doing the same thing with their gaming franchise. So like we're getting a prequel from The Witcher, and I think like in correlation with the game, probably like a year after the TV show comes out and like the season ends, we're probably gonna get an announcement of this new Witcher game that actually gonna be coming out. And we don't have any other news about Cyberpunk 2077, the Orion that's coming out, but I'm pretty sure after people start getting their feels with this game, to revive it himself with, we may get another season of the TV show. I can't see why we wouldn't get another season of Cyberpunk Edgerunners, but
because Trigger, I don't know. I could see them going to another studio or maybe doing it like.
Given the story makes sense. Yeah. Like I don't want to like ruin the story for those who are listening, but like given the story, like I can see why they would go with a different company afterwards. Right. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what they would do with that. But the one thing I want people to remember is Cyberpunk launched broken. They lied about like the quality level of Cyberpunk up until it was too late. Like people,
but it wasn't the developer's fault. It was the company's fault, as they've also made clear.
CD Projekt Red, at the end of the day, it may not. They're developing and publishing the game, so while it may not be the people like on the ground floor doing the development work, that is still at the end of the day the company that put out this PR statement in-house about all these things. Do not trust CD Projekt Red. Do not pre-order their next game. If their next game comes out and is a huge success, get in on it. But like even for me, like Cyberpunk, like Edgerunners was amazing. Yeah. But they burned me personally because I bought Cyberpunk the day it came out, and like you know, you win some, you lose some, but like they lied about the quality and like even the reviews they manipulated because they sent out PC builds and not console builds, and so when the review comes up right before the game comes out, and then the game comes out and people are expecting like for the PC review to reflect what they're going to be playing, and they're playing on a PS4 and the game is running like trash and it's just like having game breaking bugs, like you can't trust CD Projekt Red. Like
You
as
heard it here
much good
first.
as they've
And Anton Sixx approved. Like, don't trust CD Projekt Red.
but I mean like that this has happened with all sorts of companies. Like if they're going to keep doing the same thing every year and you're going to keep pre-ordering it and you're going to keep being unhappy about it, you know, when they make changes to like when they Assassin's Creed was a game that came out every single year. We were we were flooded with Assassin's Creed. There was just like Ubisoft would open their mouth and 3 new Assassin's Creed games would come out. And so
the way you worded that.
and they were like, when people started asking, when are you going to stop releasing Assassin's Creed games every year? And they're like, when you stop buying them every year. And then there was a shift where they had a year where not as many people bought it. And so they took a year off to make it bigger and reinvent itself. Like, it's like Call of Duty. When's Call of Duty going to do something meaningful and
different?
Right.
Because like it's been like Battlefield. It's been like a Battlefield game. Every other Call of Duty game. That's exactly how I've been looking at it. And like I don't get like how Call of Duty keeps making money, but the relevancy has not been as impactful as it used to be. So no, I hear you there.
Right. But I mean, it's still, that's the thing. It's quietly still the best-selling game. Like Call of Duty Vanguard is one of the best-selling games of the last year, and it's just because. And so but it was the year Vanguard did make them announce that they're skipping next year of Call of Duty, like they're taking a year off. So we're getting Modern Warfare 2 this year. Next year we're not getting anything. The year after we're supposedly getting the next Black Ops, and then the year after that supposedly we're getting the next Sledgehammer game. Even though the Sledgehammer games, because Call of Duty World War II, that's the Call of Duty game that did almost the worst of any Call of Duty game ever because nobody wanted to play it.
No,
and that's when they switched up.
Burning out, the Black Ops, right?
No, World War II. So World at War was Treyarch, and then Black Ops 1, 2, 3, 4, and Cold War are Treyarch. And then the next Black Ops we're getting is going to be Treyarch, but Sledgehammer made Advanced Warfare, which that seems to be the one that's coming after Black Ops. The next Black Ops, so we're getting Modern Warfare 2 reboot this year. Next year we're not getting a game. The year after we're getting the next Black Ops, and then the year after that we're getting supposedly a follow-up to Advanced Warfare, which was one of the ones that perform. And that Sledgehammer, like I really think they should just have Sledgehammer like step into the back and just support Infinity Ward and Treyarch, because those games are getting better and better, and the Sledgehammer games just keep underperforming and they keep not being what fans want. And I mean, they've taken Raven and they've taken Beanox and Vicarious Visions and all these different Activision studios and put them as support studios. I think they should have Sledgehammer no longer be a lead developer on a Call of Duty game. Like, this next one should be their last one, because, and I mean, unless it's great, which I highly doubt considering, like, the Sledgehammer Advanced Warfare, World War II, and Vanguard, none of those are in the top 10 Call of Duties.
That's definitely something we got to like dive into for a next episode about like games that you think should and shouldn't be with certain companies, because I wouldn't mind like picking your brain about something like that. You definitely keep your ears to the ground when it comes to things like this. And I feel like when it comes to certain like topics like this, like about like what games are making the right and wrong decisions, I feel like you got a lot to say about that. And I listen to Cheesy Controller every so often, and like I feel like you guys don't dive into that. So I would definitely like to hear like your opinion about what companies are not doing correctly when it comes like to your personal opinion on the matter, because I know you got a lot to say about it.
Well, yeah.
But was there anything else you wanted to get into before we sign off for this amazing, fantastic return episode?
No, I think I'm good. I'm sure there's always something I missed, but I mean,
That's usually how it goes, right?
yeah. And I mean, by the time this is out, something new and big will happen. My thoughts will have changed on Overwatch 2 again. Like,
you see how he does it, everybody. Like he starts it out with that, and he brings it back full circle. I love that.
so yeah. I mean, you'll hear from me next week on Table Cheese. If you can't wait till then, you'll hear from me next week on Cheesy Controller. If you can't wait till then, listen to some of the old stuff, you know?
And like I'm here for that too, man. Like I do like listening to you guys talk. You guys like kind of went at it this episode recently. I forget what the whole topic was, but you guys like were just like going hardcore over one topic, and it was a good time. It could have been Overwatch. I could just like not even like be sure about what that was, but there was one last thing I wanted like to bring to your attention, that Xbox Game Pass gained over 500,000 players after its release. I do think that is here to stay for a while.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll see. Right now, Microsoft is just dumping money into it, and I don't. It's like there's no way it's profitable, but they're saying, well, you know, Game Pass users spend more money and do X, Y, and Z. But at the end of the day, Microsoft, you have money to burn, literally. So.
See, I was trying to be nice. I knew that. I was just trying to be nice. Like, yeah, of course, they're just throwing stuff to the wall, see what's this. Because as we all know, Sony is still killing it in the console wars. So yeah.
Well, I mean, this generation more than any other generation, each of the big three are in their own lane doing their own thing. Like, PlayStation is focused on having a consistent cadence of, like, big blockbuster AAA first-party exclusive games. Xbox is more in the act of trying to expand out and buy up everybody else so that they can eventually bolster their first party output. And I mean, Nintendo is doing the Switch, the hybrid portable. Like, Nintendo's always in its own lane, but Microsoft with Game Pass, like, everybody's doing their own thing this generation. And
look at that.
Success,
I did not expect that reaction from you.
Yeah, success and victory, like, everybody's doing it off different metrics, you know?
Wow. That's very political of you. Very, very walking the fine line of everyone's doing great in the console wars. Like I wasn't like no joke. I was not expecting that response from you.
Well, yeah, I mean everybody has their strengths and their weaknesses, but not everybody's going for the exact same thing for their players. That's why, like, depending on what you're looking for, there are different places for different people. And that's why, like, yeah, we're in a interesting spot with this generation, with everybody doing things so differently.
See, that's another question. I'm not sure. I'm not sure question about this generation of gaming. And I'm gonna find my notepad so I can write it down so I can talk to you about it next episode, because I don't want to talk about this episode. I want to talk about next episode. But like as I said before, you are my connoisseur of gaming, the person I go to about all my gaming questions. So I'm definitely gonna come back to you next week and ask you a question about the next generation of gaming, and we may make a thing out of it. But I'm one of your hosts of Table Cheese. I am D. You can find me at FTL Nerd Talk, where we fund FTL Nerd Talk. I just did a new segment on YouTube called Top Down. It's talking about like every character, every different genre, from video games to TV shows to comics and movies, and it lists characters who can and can't do certain things. Like, it's kind of like a top 10. Like, if I'm just gonna like not overhype it, it's like a top 10. But I'm doing it, so that's the fun part of it.
All right. And look out, Cheesy Controller Podcast episode 200's coming at you very soon. We might be heading to Radic Records for that. That's still in the works. just things are up in the air, but we want to do something special for 200. For episode 100, we got a cake.
Seriously?
Yeah, we got a cake from Publix for episode 100. So
they get the best damn cakes, don't they?
So we might do something special and in person for episode 200. But
all right. Well, if you do, man, like I'm here for it. Like, please invite me. I want that invite. And Land Party is going to be at the Monday Night Brewery, or is that what I call it?
The Lag.
Yeah, the Lag. The Lag is going to be at the. What was it? Is it Monday night?
Monday Night Garage.
That's what we're looking for. They're going to be there pretty soon. So, like, you know,
they actually started this past Tuesday. So now, but the problem is it's Tuesday nights, and like every time like the Lag has come up recently, it's like, yeah, it's just on the absolute worst night of the week for me to do anything.
No, I want them to succeed. Gotta keep on going at it. Don't get it. Don't get it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to things starting up on the weekend. Like, we got Anime Weekend Atlanta coming up, and AWA, we got.
Hopefully, you and I can hit it up, man. I can introduce you to Devious, the Urban Sama finalist. So yeah, that'd be nice.
Well, yeah, I think I'm going to be out there that Saturday. I won't be able.
I'll see if I can make it happen.
I work.
You can bring
Friday.
your crew, right? You gonna bring your crew, right? The Cheesy Controller.
Well, I know. I haven't talked to them about it yet. Like right now, I'm planning it as a Angelina and I thing, but
well, that's she's a bit of a nerd too, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean she's into anime, and she used to go to Anime Weekend Atlanta, so.
Oh, she goes hard. I like that. That's cool. I dig that. Right on. My wife would never. My wife is like full on housewives, like the Real Housewives type crowd or the Bachelor type crowd. So like the nerddom does not see itself fully inside my home.
Oh, well, you know, you got to just find the thing that she'll be into. Like, Angelina doesn't play games, but there are a couple of games that she's found that she's liked. And, like, she was into anime before we met. So, like, there are anime I've gotten her into, and there's anime she's gotten me into, so.
My dude, I've been trying that game for the past 6 years. Like, I don't think it's going to be happening anytime soon. But I like the optimism. I really do. But this has been a great episode. Like, you got a little bit of information about us toward the end of the show. If you really say it towards the end, you got that. But until next time, you guys take it easy.
Keep it cheesy.
Hey guys, D here of FTL Nerd Talk. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, tell your friends about FTL Nerd Talk. Got a lot of different shows for all of you. Make sure you tune in every week for a brand new episode. Take it easy.